everybody. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And oh, we're going to have a fun conversation tonight. You know, all you Oregonians who are just madly in love with Governor Tina Kotek? Well, there's a move about out there to get rid of her. No, we're not doing anything drastic, just recalling her. But, you know, it's a petition to recall Governor Kotek. After all, she is the least popular governor in the country, excuse me, uh, only to be following Kate Brown, who is also the least popular governor in Oregon. So my question to Oregonians would be, what the fuck are you doing electing these people? If they're the least popular people in the state, they're doing a terrible job of governing your state. Why do you keep putting people like this in office? That would be my top question. If you have comments, go ahead and throw them at me, especially if you're if you love Kotek. If you're someone who's just madly in love and thinks I'm just full of crap, we'll go for it. But tonight, we're going to talk about the recall effort. And we got Bill Minix, and he's here, and he's going to talk with us about what he's doing, why he's doing it. And there's another little sidebar story that you're going to love. He also helped fight to kill something else that a lot of Oregonians got really righteously pissed about, and they should have. So our sponsor tonight, Dr. Michael Bratland, Chris Dental Family Dentistry in Eugene. If you're looking for a dentist or someone who cares about what you believe, well, go for it. He's the guy. I still go back. I'll be back in September for my every 6-month cleaning. So I still go to Dr. Bratland. He's a great guy. He's a good friend, and he's a wonderful addition to your community. So that's Dr. Bratland. Somebody is already sending in message. Big energy, Rick. Oh, Steve, that's because you know what? This is like one of my favorite things to do is to inform Oregonians and get them thinking. So this is good stuff. You guys are great. I'm not criticizing Oregonians, except for those of you who keep voting for people like Tina Kotek, and then you complain because your gas taxes keep going up and nothing is being done. 87% is what KATU did a survey, and 87% of people were not thrilled with her taking the legislature back and some of her proposals that she was doing. So why are you continuing to vote for? Here's Bill Minix. Thank you for joining us, Bill. The man of steel. You're going after the governor single-handed. Well, not single-handedly. You got a lot of help. But Bill, what pushed you over the edge?
There's 3 things that pushed me over the edge. Number 1 was the sanctuary state policy, where I'm tired of our tax dollars being given to people that legally shouldn't get it. And then, of course, we have the problem where federal funding is going to be stopped if we continue to be one.
And she's going against that. I mean, so here she was just on the news last week whining about how many billions were going to be cut from her budget. And then you're putting at risk more because of this because she's thumbing her nose at the president of the United States. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And the second reason was I got to meet a couple in Bend, Oregon, who had a teenage boy and a teenage girl that were in high school at our new high school in Bend. And they started coming home from their classes and talking to their parents that they wanted to change their sex. And the school was pushing it. So the parents ended up going to the school board meeting, which they were kept quiet at the school board meeting. They weren't allowed to speak. And then the parents went after the school. Well, the school ended up getting a hold of Child Protection Agency in Oregon, took the kids from them. The parents had no say in this. And I got to meet this couple at a Republican meeting at our Republican headquarters here in Deschutes. And those 2 parents were a wreck. I mean, they were so emotional. And that really stuck to my heart. I said, you know what? Oregon has no right telling us how to raise our kids.
No. And that is Bill. I don't know how long you've been here, doesn't matter, or there. But that's not an Oregon value. And what I understand, what blows my mind is that people put up with this stuff from the governor when she's representing men playing in women's sports, stuff that people, if you went and poll, I'm sorry, I get so pissed off about this, but if you polled people, which they do, they don't care about those things. They care about jobs and healthy businesses and healthy communities. And she's driven and driving businesses out of Oregon. So the things Oregonians care about, she doesn't. And the things they don't care about, she does. And then she's got her party loyalists who just kiss her ass and do whatever they're supposed to do.
I agree. And I guess the third thing that really got to me is the taxation. Constantly taxing us. Why? Because she doesn't have any money. Because she's budgeted everything wrong in this state. She gives the money away, except to the people that need it, like the homeless, the veterans, the elderly.
They're too focused on climate crap and anything climate-ish, that sounds good, that tickles the little happy bones of her supporters. But that doesn't, people in Oregon, they right now they need jobs and they need stable. I mean, you've got Intel shipping out thousands and thousands of jobs. I mean, the job picture in Oregon is horrible. And then she keeps talking about fixing the homeless situation. Somebody's on here talking about that as well. And, hasn't done anything. I mean, none of that money is just bullshit.
That's right.
So,
go ahead.
I already have people on here asking, where do they find the petition? How do they sign the petition to oust her?
It's very easy. My website is www.oregonforthepeople, for is spelled out FOR.com. You can go to that site, to the recall page, scroll down, and you'll find locations listed by the county. You can also, if you don't want to go to one of the locations or there is not one close to you, there is a download of a single petition that you can print, you can sign, and you can send to my P.O. Box 3360, Lapine, Oregon, 97739.
So what do you say to, I know there's people in the Republican Party who are not supportive of this move, because they say if she gets ousted, then Tobias Reed would be put into the governorship, and he's a Democrat, and he's no better than she is, and he'll be an incumbent for the upcoming election, which incumbents stand a better chance of winning. How do you respond to that, Bill?
I've done a lot of thinking on this, and yes, Tobias will take over Secretary of State. But when he takes over, he's going to have only about a 2.5 month reign, and then we come into our primaries. Okay, so let's figure that one out. We come into our primaries. We just recalled our governor. The people in Oregon are still upset because they don't see anything good happening yet. So guess who it falls on? It falls on Tobias. So now is the time for our candidates to start working hard, get their platform together, and get their campaign together, and be ready to put up this fight and turn this state red. And it can be done.
Bill, Kyle wants to know do you have to sign the petition in the county you live in, or does it matter? It doesn't matter, does it?
No, and there was a misprint, of course, by the Democrat Secretary of State, Tobias, on our petition, where it states you can only sign it in the county that you're from. That is not true. I've got a letter from the SOS. They corrected that, but we were already a week and a half into getting the petition signed. So yes, anybody from any county in the state that is a registered voter can sign it.
Somebody else on here says we need to start redistricting in Oregon, and that's 100. Donna, you are 100% on the mark. That's how we got into this situation, is because of cheating. You know all the Democrats, legislators who are crying over what's going on in Texas. They've been doing this for 40 freaking years. The same thing in Oregon. Ask your legislators, why is it that 5 of the 6, I think it is, congressional districts in Oregon, all come from Portland and then go out to places like Madras and all over the state because they're gerrymandering and watering it down so that the conservative votes don't count and only Portland rules the roost. So here they are out there publicly going, this is devastating our nation. You've already done this to Oregon. And so what Oregon needs to do is just start all over and get a nonpartisan group of people made up of all kinds of people, not legislators. They should have nothing to do with this because it benefits them. And they should redraw the lines. And then you watch what happens. Oregon starts looking much more purplish, much more reddish, and a lot less bluish.
I agree. And, you brought up Madras, and I was in Madras today picking up some petitions that were signed. And I had to go through City Hall yesterday to try to get a booth at the air show, which brings 30,000 people. And I wanted to set up a recall booth, a pop-up. Well, I get a call back right away from somebody with the city council telling me, no, you can't. And they said, we don't allow you to get political. Well, guess what I found out today?
What?
Who's got a booth? Senator Merkley has a booth there. So why can't I have a fucking booth?
Where's this?
This is in Madras.
At the county?
The city hall is the one sponsoring the air show, but they're not allowing the other party to be at their air show.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah.
I think, Bill, I'd get on the phone and make a little phone call to the city. And if they don't do anything about it, then I'd go get on Lars Larson or something like that and let people know, because that is absolutely ridiculous. So you guys, Bill is no stranger to being a troublemaker. And I say that I say that with tears in my eyes. He's also one of the people who helped. He was responsible for. Remember those little fire maps that the legislature put out that turned into the biggest clusterfuck in for people. And actually, Bill, tell the story. So what you did?
Yeah, well, I got the fire map that I was high hazard, like 160,000 other Oregonians got. Most of us living in rural areas, and within 2 months, my home insurance went up to $1,300 to $6,400 per year. Okay, that wasn't the only problem that happened. My home value it went down $92,000, and that happened within a matter of months. So I said to myself, you know what, we got to do something about this. And I started complaining on a couple Facebook pages. We started getting quite a few people, hundreds of people chatting back and forth. And I guess Christine Drazen was following this Facebook page. And out of the blue, I get a call from Christine Drazen. And she goes, Bill, I want to know what we can do to help you. And I said, repeal this fire map. That's what we need to do. And then before she could talk, I said, I'm not sure if I want to talk to you. I said, because you voted for this fire map. And she explained to me why she did. And I said, okay, I'll go ahead and talk with you. And she worked with me and with the legislator, and we got this repealed. But Tina Kotek refused to sign it for quite some time, taking our dividend and holding that hostage unless we agreed to give up part of our dividend to go to ODOT.
So you're also holding a rally. Can you tell people a little bit about that? I know the legislature goes into a special session next week, and I think the special session is just over Labor Day, which I find very interesting because what I've read is how much more expensive would it be to hold it over Labor Day because there's a holiday in there. That's kind of weird, don't you think?
I think it's really weird, and I think part of it is because she's hoping that maybe the Republicans will hold out, and then there won't be a quorum, and she can probably do some executive orders, which not going to happen because we're having a rally those same 2 days.
So tell us about the rally, what that's all about, where you're doing that.
We're doing the rally at the Capitol Saturday and Sunday on Labor Day from 11 to 4. We're going to have speakers from all sides. We're going to have making a lot of noise so they can hear us inside the Capitol, because we don't want any more taxation. We don't want to be a sanctuary state. We don't want our taxes to just keep skyrocketing. I mean, for instance, just recently, Kotek, she's going to put a $20 fee on people that raft down the river on the inner tube. I mean, how crazy can you get?
And a paddle board.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to talk about a nanny state. I mean, but you can't even take a paddle. Yeah. Well, next it's going to be another $10 for every oar that you use, because those oars might be contaminating the water. I mean, it's seriously in Montana. People here they come up to me all the time because I know I'm from Oregon, and they go, did that really happen? Like when Measure 110 went in, did Oregon really legalize like hard drugs? I went, yeah. I mean, it's like, it's insanity. She definitely has a scheme in regards to the Labor Day session. Donna says probably making double time. I bet it's the unions or something, or somebody's getting double time on it. But you guys are going to be there. What time?
I'll tell you about that.
What time should they get if people want to join in? Because I think, it's. I know it's a holiday weekend and all that kind of stuff, but people in Oregon need to understand you have to make noise now, because it's just like, well, we have plans with the family. Well, you're going to be paying for those plans for the rest of your life.
Yes, the time is Friday. It's going to be from 10 to 4. And Saturday, which looks like the session will roll over to Saturday, is also going to be from 10 to 4.
Okay, and people just show up. And obviously, since we are citizens of Oregon, or you are citizens of Oregon, you will do this the proper way, not like Black Lives Matters or Antifa. Yeah. So this is going to be a truly peaceful protest. But people are going to make noise and bring signs. And I always try to tell people, don't write nasty stuff about, calling Kotek names. That doesn't get anywhere. But you can say, stop taxing us, Kotek. You can direct them to her, but don't call her bad names, because that's what they do. And we should be better than that. And,
some of our speakers are going to be Representative Virgil Osborne, Representative Smith.
Oh, I'm going on your show next week.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Virgil just called me today and said, will you come on my show on Tuesday night? And I went, sure. I didn't even ask him what we're talking about. I don't care. I just go, yeah, whatever. Sure. I'll do that. Hey, can you sign online?
No. And I'm glad you brought that up. There's a fictitious recall going around saying recall Kotek, and you sign it online. That's illegal. The only one you can sign is a paper document that I got the template from the Secretary of State Election Office. Anything else is a fraud. Don't sign it. If you do sign it, don't worry about it, because it's never going to get turned in. You just make sure you get our petition and sign it.
Matt Kendall, you said, yeah, that's the biggest issue. There will be hundreds of Tampon Tina signs, and that's what shuts down conversation before it even starts. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Matt. That's not the biggest issue. And that's not really what shuts down conversation. The biggest issue is you have a governor who's doing what many Oregonians don't want done. And the bigger issue than Tampon Tina, we agree that shouldn't be done. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is you have a governor who's not listening to Oregon. I mean, there's that Greater Idaho movement going on. They have tried over and over to have a conversation with her, and she refuses to do it. If I was governor of your state and I knew that 3/4 of it, whether it's populated or not, was willing to look at getting out of Oregon and joining Idaho, I'd get my ass, kind of like Trump did with Putin. I'd go meet somewhere and find out what's going on and what I'm not doing right, and go take care of that. I wouldn't sit in my ivory palace and pretend like these people don't exist, because they are ignored, they're voiceless, and they know it. So, Matt, we agree the names need to stop. Biggest issue, horseshit. That's not the biggest issue. There's way bigger issues going on out there. Where can they get a copy of the petition again, William? Can you tell them again? People are asking over and over. And yes, Sandy, there is a vote by mail petition going around right now too. I just did a podcast with that last week. If you go on YouTube to Rick Dancer TV, you can go to Ben Idol. You'll see it. It's just a couple things back, a couple shows back, and you can go on there and watch the whole thing and learn more about what it is. Okay, so tell them about the petition again.
Yes, the petition can be found on www.oregonforthepeople, for is spelled out FOR.com. And you go to the recall page, scroll down, and you'll see the counties where new locations are being added every day. If those locations are too far from you, then you can go just above that to the red button that says single petition. You click that, you print it, you sign it, and you mail it to me at P.O. Box 3360, La Pine, Oregon, 97739.
So somebody is asking, you're talking about the fire map. I live in Shady Cove, Oregon. I had insurance through company in Dallas, and within 2 months they dropped us. We ended up getting another company for the year dropped because the map called companies all over and couldn't get it. Yeah. But that was, you guys took care of that. The map is gone, but the damage isn't done. It's still done, right?
The damage is still done. I have filed a complaint with the insurance commissioner that we need to have our rates dropped. And I encourage everybody out there that had their insurance rates increased by the fire map to file a complaint, overload them with complaint, and maybe they will take control and get these insurance companies to bring us back to an insurance policy that we can afford.
And the other thing people need to understand is when those maps, the legislature came up with the law to do the map. They told people that their insurance rates would not be used by insurance companies for their rates to go up, which is so stupid. Because if an insurance company knows that you're in a high-risk fire area because of this stupid map that the legislatures do, of course they're going to raise your rates to cover their ass. So that just shows that you have legislators who do not know what they're talking about, or are just stupid because they can't figure out that if you put somebody in the middle. Oh, Bill, tell them the other part though about the fire maps. This is really good. Tell them that because some of them were lakes, right?
Yes. One thing that really pissed me off when I started doing research before I pushed to have it recalled, I was looking at the maps. And first of all, I'll tell you about the lakes in a second. First of all, my high hazard, the people next door to me on both sides were not high hazard. The people behind me were not high hazard. And 2 houses across the street were, and the rest weren't. I'm thinking, this is wrong. We all have the same amount of trees. We all have the same kind of vegetation. And then I got to look at more, and we found 3 reservoirs. 3 reservoirs. Big water was marked as high hazard.
So the reservoirs were marked as high. I did an interview with a gentleman in Gold Beach, Oregon, and he had a house on the beach, no trees around it, surrounded by, beachfront property, not a bunch of gorse or anything like that behind him that was could catch fire. And he was in the highest rated group. And he was like, yep. Did anybody bother to look at this? Somebody asked here, we tried recalling Kate Brown and it didn't work. Why should we do it this time? Bill, why is it important to send this message to Kotek and her minions who keep electing her?
Number one, we're in a different time now. We're in a time where Oregonians are really being affected. We're in a time where Oregonians really want change, and they're flocking everywhere to sign the petition. The Brown petition failed 4 times. Part of it was poor management. Part of it was they gave up. And the other part was that there wasn't as big as issues going on as what's happening today.
So you think there's enough steam because of there aren't many people that don't believe that she's taxing the shit out of Oregonians.
There's not. And the sign that I have that is really good is we are getting Democrats signing the petition. We're getting them in Salem. We're getting them in Portland. I've talked to a few myself. All my volunteers and coordinators are overwhelmed at how many Democrats are signing it. They want her out.
You know, I think what's happening to Oregon and to the nation, if you look at statistics, the Democrat Party is just, it is no more. I mean, you have left-wing lunatics, and then you have a bunch of people from the Democrat Party who are just fed up with it. They're not Republicans either, and they may not be Trump fans, but they don't want what's going on right now. And that's nationwide. I think people want leaders who will do something and listen to them. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And the Democrat Party is not listening to the people. I mean,
no,
Oregonians don't give a damn about whether they don't want men playing in women's sports. They don't want that. They polled them. They showed that. You know, they don't want to be a sanctuary state. Now, there are some, I'm sure there's a bunch of people in Portland that want to be a sanctuary state, but then you know what? You're going to get, it's going to cost you. What I don't understand about that is you've got all these federal dollars and they keep crying about, oh, they're going to take these federal dollars, but you're supporting illegal activity. So you know, they can cry and say, oh, look at all the mistakes they're making. But the bottom line is, you're being a sanctuary state to people who are not supposed to be in Oregon legally. And there's tons of people that I know who are legal citizens that gone through the program and now they're legal and they don't want illegal people here because you don't have a country. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Is that what they want?
No, they don't. And I think that's one of the reasons we're getting, I call it that we're at high throttle. We're getting so many people signing. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up that it's going to work, because I want people to keep pounding as they are doing, setting up the pop-ups. My goal is that I need 293,000 signatures. My goal is to get 450,000. And then we're going to sit down. I have a crew already. We're going to sit down and validate each and every signature. Something the Brown administration, the Brown recalls did not do. So yeah, we're up on it.
Somebody Angela, hi Angela, just came on here and said, ORP Go TV effort and set up voters registration tables. They said join the ORP Go TV effort. Is that is there more than one recall?
No, there's only one.
Okay.
That's my recall.
Okay. So how can people, again, find you? Somebody said they put your website in and they didn't get in, but that's probably just a mistake or something. But it's Oregon.
Okay. It's www.oregonforthepeople.com.
And that's FOR, for the people.
FOR, yes. All lowercase, which it doesn't matter when you're typing it in.
Okay. So,
and you can, on the last page, the recall page, you can find the petitions and you can find locations. Be looking for locations in your area popping up every day.
So tell people the process. You gather the signatures. You have to have them by what time, what date?
October 27th. We're going to start validating next week because I'm starting to get quite a few in the mail back. We're going to start validating them. And we'll probably do that from here on out. And then when the 27th comes, I'm going to that morning pack up and deliver them to the Secretary of State office. And we're presently requesting, because under Oregon law, we can have this, we're going to have 3 people there being observers.
That
is something
that would be
go ahead,
great, Bill. No, that's a great idea. Yeah, don't just trust the Secretary of State's office to do it. Have other people there. What does everyone think of Tobias? Because that's what's next, even if she gets recalled. Yeah, we already talked about that, Matt. He'd only be serving for 2 months, so he's probably not going to be. But that was my question to Bill as well. What good does this do? Angela, I would love to have you on my show to talk about promoting the statewide campaign. You just get a hold of me, rick@rickdancer.com. I'd love to put you on. Bill, anything else you need to tell me?
No, I really encourage people, don't wait. Get your signatures in and pass it on to 4 people that you know. Give them the website, and we're gonna make our quota. And I want to thank everybody that's interested in this. And I want to thank all my volunteers and all my coordinators that are working hard every day to put the pop-ups up, to go to events such as concerts, to go on busy highways where there's a safe place to pull over. They're setting up pop-ups, and that's how we're gathering our signatures.
All right. Bill Minix, thank you so much for what you're doing, man.
You bet. It was
All
a
right.
pleasure being on your show. Thank
Hey,
you.
we'll see you later. All right. So there you go, guys. So what do you need to do? Well, if you don't want her there anymore, here's a way to work at getting her out of there. Yeah, it's only for 2 months, but you know what? You also send a message. And I think that's super important, is to let her know you may not be listening to Tina. You may not, Governor Kotek, I'll have some respect here. You may not be listening to rural Oregonians, but you may have to, because they may send a loud and clear message to you. And I think you've even trampled on the feet of a lot of urban Oregonians, and they're tired of it. The people in your state can't afford the taxes that you're promoting. They can't keep giving you money to fix the homeless problem when you haven't done shit to do anything. You can't keep charging people and asking for money for education when you're number 48, 45 to 48, somewhere, I'll give you a little leeway, somewhere in the low 40s in terms of educating your kids. Maybe you should go to the Oregon Education Association, the teachers union that put you in the job, and tell them they need to start doing a better job of working and get less administrators and more teachers, on the ground teachers, and fewer administrators. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to start focusing on, rather than your pet projects like trans issues, maybe start focusing on the issues that affect Oregonians. You know, the farmers that live in Diamond, Oregonian. Do you know where French Glen is? Yeah, it's just a little place where people are struggling. Yeah. A lot of places like that in Oregon, but not in Portland. So now, to you, the public, you have got to get involved. You can't say I don't talk about politics. Horseshit. You better start talking about politics, or you're going to pay for it through the nose, because you already are. But you have to get involved. Do you know that the number of Republicans who didn't even bother to they don't even have to get off their ass just to pick up a mail-in ballot and vote, didn't do it? There was enough people that didn't vote. You could have changed politics in Oregon the last election. But you stayed home and you threw the ballot away because you're registered. Then there's a message for there's a whole bunch of people in Oregon that aren't even registered to vote. So you're just sucking off the system. Why don't you register to vote? It's your right. There's people in countries all over the world that would give their eye teeth to be able to vote, and you don't even participate. And if you bitch and you haven't voted, I wouldn't listen to you, because you have no right if you're not participating. God, you're part. Do you know that in Jewish culture, every word is like everything is action. You can't love without having action. My point is, you can't be in a community and not be part of it. If you're just sucking off the community and, I don't want to get involved, then you're not part of a community. You're just, I don't know what you are, kind of worthless. You need to be part of something, action, doing something. So now you have an opportunity to change Oregon. Will you do it, or will that family vacation just be so important you can't bother? So Oregonians, you got to get out and vote. So, you know, the effort to change vote by mail, I think it's a great idea, and I would support it too. But I think that's going to be a hard sell in Oregon. I'd still sign the petition and I'd vote for it. But the best ways you guys can change the state is to go first, get those lazy people who are registered to vote to go do it. You change the whole thing that way. And then you need to seriously get yourself informed on redistricting and what it has done to your state, because it has absolutely, they've been cheating. Started with Secretary of State Bill Bradbury, and they started cheating, and they've been redrawing those lines to benefit one party. And you know what? People act like I'm some right-wing, nut job. I'm not a diehard Republican. I don't really care that much about the Republican Party either. I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. My heart, I'm an independent or a libertarian. But what I do care about is cheating. And if the Republicans were cheating, I wouldn't want it either. So we need to get back to a state like when Mark Hatfield was governor of Oregon, where he stood up for all Oregonians, not just the people that voted for him. And we put those people in office. So we need to figure something out. And maybe it's, I think apathy got the best of us for a lot of years. And I remember I was in the news business, people just go, oh, I don't pay attention to that. You don't pay it. Well, do you know how much you're paying because you're not paying attention? So you are paying for your lack of attention is what you're doing. So politics may not interest you, but you better find a way to get interested, because you're getting screwed. I mean, really screwed. And then if you get vote by mail done away with, you can vote like those of us. And here's the thing, the little fear tactics they use. Oh, look at all the elderly and handicapped people, which are really supposed to be called disabled people, who won't be able to vote. In Montana, we still have mail-in ballots for people that need them. But I'm honored to walk down to the polling place, get in my little booth, go up to the woman, show her my driver's license. Yes, driver's license that says Rick Dancer is Rick Dancer. She gives me a ballot. I go into the booth, I vote, I hand it to her, and it's not much time. If you don't have time to do that, what are we talking about here? I mean, God, it's so crazy. So I'm sorry I'm preaching at you. Well, I'm really not, because I enjoy it. Because I know you can change. I think Oregon's going to change. I really do. I don't think it's going to change. I think fairness is again going to be important in Oregon. That's what I think. I think there's this rugged, independent spirit in Oregon that's pioneer. Yeah, pioneer. The people that came out and founded this place that you guys tore down all their statues. Yeah, all those people that risked their lives to come on the Oregon Trail and find this place and make it into, I'm going to say it, an empire. Oh, it just makes the liberals cringe. They made it into a place where you enjoy and you live, and now but you don't want to give them any credit for it. Could you imagine the Democrat Party being on the wagon train coming to Oregon today? Here's my hit on that. Oh, the wheels are too bumpy. When are we going to stop? Is there a Starbucks somewhere near here? I want a latte. I don't want to go all the way to Oregon. Let's just stop. They would have never found Oregon if we left it up to you. Oregonians are rugged, independent cusses, and you guys need to take back your heritage and be who you're really supposed to be. And I think you're going to do it. I really do. But you've got to get involved with this stuff. So remember, next week, Oregon legislature, the least you can do is pray. If you're a prayer, pray to God that he stops any stupidity from happening. And then go there on Friday and Saturday and join Bill and the rest of the gang and just let your voices be heard. Let them know that you don't agree with this. Sign a petition, sign the vote by mail petition. If they don't work, then you know the next step. But don't be apathetic and give up. Stop. There's a great verse in the Bible that says life and death is in the power of your tongue. What you speak will find. So Stop speaking, this will never happen. She's going to, and start speaking, we can change this. We can do this. We are going to do this. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Positive stuff comes out of your mouth and positive things seem to happen. And that's not a new age theory. That's a God theory. That's right out of the Bible. What you speak in, we are creators. God created us as creators. What we create, what comes out of our mouth and our lives is what creates a society. We've allowed something less than righteous to thwart. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I have plans for you, plans of peace and hope and prosperity, not of your undoing. We don't believe that anymore, but it's still true. We've undone, through apathy, the good things that God has planned for us in our country and in Oregon, my beloved state. You can change it. But what comes out of here and out of here is what makes a difference. All right. Well, you guys go get them. I know people say, you moved. Why do you still do this? I love Oregon. I don't want to come back. I've found a new place. I miss a lot of things. I'm going to be back there for a month. If you guys see me around, I'm going to be around shooting some stuff. I can't announce what happened, but I have a new family member. But I'm not supposed to talk about it yet. So you shut up. If any of you say anything, I'll be in trouble. But I'm going to be back there. But the people of Oregon are wonderful, and I love seeing you pushed. I kind of like seeing you pushed to the end of your rope, because I think we all needed to get there in order to start climbing back up. And I think that's all this is, that part is part of that process. So, felony attorney, Oregon, who says, don't move back, Rick. You know what? Oh, night, Rick, don't come back. Hope to see you on your trip back. You know, felon, people like you are just so stupid. Well, I mean, what a dumb name, first of all. The Felon Attorney Oregon, IRL. Ooh. And then all you do is call people names and stuff. Well, I will come back just to find you, but I'm not going to stay. And I know that'll break your heart. I meant don't move back. Felon, I know what you mean. But see, here's the problem. One, you're such a puss, you can't even put your own name on there. So you hide behind Felon Attorney Oregon. I don't give a shit about some keyboard warrior out there yelling about, wah, 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 wah. It's like, you don't even have the balls to put your name on there. So don't even come on my page and talk to it. You know what I mean? What a puss. When you get your big boy pants on, or girl pants on, whichever you are, your he, him, she, it, whatever pants on, then you can come talk to me. But until then, you're just another loser behind a really bad name. All right. We'll be back next week. Next week, we're talking to Ed Deal, representative from Oregon. As I like to call him, the real deal. We're going to talk to him on Tuesday night. I'm going to be on another show on Tuesday night for another guy talking about this stuff. And then I think I'm going to hopefully get Sherry Boshart Davis on Thursday before the session is on Friday and Saturday. So that's our schedule for next week. So thanks for coming on here. And they, them. Haha, I love you, Rick Dancer. I'm sure you do. Daniel says, Felon wants some Starbucks. The wheels are bumpy. I don't want to do this. Good night, you guys. We'll see you later. That was fun.